Yes, it's true. A dream really did bring a $3,500 overnight windfall to someone close to me. Welcome! You may or may not know that for a couple of decades, I've helped dreamers make sense of their dreams. Well, I can do the same for you. I mentioned in another recent video that being tested in the area of provisions is typical in my opinion. Jesus is quoted in John 16 as saying, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." And I emphasized in that video that more often than not, we can't count on prophetically receiving the keys to the exact location of a proverbial pot of gold. But on the other hand, sometimes exactly that happens. Sometimes we do get those keys and that location if we know how to make sense of the dream providing them. I'll use the following real-life dream story as an example. In this instance, a strategy needed to be revealed in order for the provision to come. And God knew a dream would be just the ticket to removing certain obstacles in its way. Now, this testimony is from years ago. I don't know what year, but I received the dream on October 12th of whatever year that was. Here's scene one. Scene one of this dream depicted this person driving a car and pulling into a drive-through, like in a fast food restaurant. Strangely, and picture this, there were two silver sides of a car sitting in front of this driver without the rest of the car. Yeah, picture it. One side leaning on the other and both with the outside of the car outward so you could see the shiny silver, but nothing in the middle. The majority of the lane then was taken up with the car sides. Really strange. When faced with this obstacle in the dream, the motorist tried to push through anyway. Couldn't get past it, but insisted on wedging through. So the driver began to try a second time. And somewhere I'm standing there and I object and tell the dreamer, "You're scratching up your car. Get out of there. It won't work. Don't proceed. Back up." Though the convincing was difficult, the driver in the dream retreated. And that was it, scene one. Well, immediately after that, in the same night, I experienced scene two of the dream. In this one, I'm standing on a dock where there's a pirate ship with a smaller one inside, a smaller pirate ship. So a man comes alongside me and tells me to jump on the back end of it. I guess they call that the stern. The ship starts to float out to sea, and I wake up. Yep, that's it. A pretty crazy dream. Now, shortly after the dream, the application of it, that is, what it applied to in real life, unfolded. And here's how it went. The person depicting the driver in the dream calls me up a day later and reminds me that on April 15th, an automatic extension to the IRS had been filed and that the resulting tax filing deadline was imminent. Since I had a good deal of experience filing business and personal returns, my assistance was solicited. I agreed and said I would come over that night, the 13th. I was very aware that I had received an impressive dream that could be connected to this person, but unsure of its meaning. Wouldn't you be? Well, we sat down at the table and began to process the taxes on one of those online tax filing programs. As we progressed, we of course ran into obstacles that had to be overcome. Questions about insurance, retirement accounts, health programs, so on. And we had to pause and hunt for those answers in the files or by speaking with someone who had the answers. Before long, though, we came to a dead end and couldn't continue. Something, I guess, had to be found or found out. I don't remember what, but it was then that I revealed to the person that I'd had a warning dream, most likely about this, and that I felt that we were moving too fast, that we needed to slow down and really get this right. Maybe look into postponing again. I was met with the response that postponing or taking it slower were not options. So we agreed to pick up the project the next morning. Now it's the 14th, the day before the deadline. After a couple of hours battling through to get the answers needed, we could continue the process. But that dream haunted me. What were the pirate ships and the drive-through and the car sides? Before long, the meaning of the dream began to come clear. And that's how it happens sometimes. Sometimes you only get the interpretation right when you need it, right in the midst of it. So God likens the IRS to pirates. I concur. He's right on with that one for sure. Good to know. I wish our politicians would see the light on that one, but that's another subject. And why a smaller pirate ship inside a bigger one? Well, it was speaking of the state tax return, which is filed within the federal filing process in that online application. And why was I to jump on the stern of that ship? Hey, I was the helper, not the person in charge of actually filing. Now, a drive-through is a quick and convenient way to get a meal. So the drive-through represented online tax filing programs. These programs are so much faster, easier, and better than the manual filing method I used for years. And cars. Cars represent activities. And silver can be associated with a price or money, as in Judas Iscariot betraying Jesus with 30 pieces of silver. So the car sides in the dream spoke of two activities associated with a price that has been sidelined or set aside. Oh my gosh, it's referring to the extension of the federal and state taxes. No doubt now I was on the right track to unraveling this dream. Putting it all together into a general interpretation, here's what the dream was revealing. While the person I was helping with the taxes is tempted to rush a process related to two activities which had been set aside and which were being handled in a convenient way, and which were associated with a price and with piracy, this person will benefit by slowing down, backing up, and getting it right. Well, the outcome of this prophetic revelation, I was more motivated than before to get this process slowed down and get it accurate. So We started at the beginning again, and I soon noticed a field that wasn't filled in, and I inquired about it. Bottom line, it applied to something that we'd overlooked. And we ended up finding the information that had been omitted before. And that increased the refund by $3,500. That would never have come otherwise. What can I say? Prophetic dreams can be priceless and sometimes literally worth $3,500. I might add here that it took me years to develop my 1,700 item categorical dream dictionary. And I think $7.95 per month for a subscription for the dictionary, some courses, and other things is a steal. After all, making sense of just one of your dreams might be priceless to you, beyond earthly value, or even yield a windfall of cash. Just saying. Well, let me say here that I appreciate your subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and commenting. Every blessing, and live beyond your wildest dreams.